Oh, yeah. Welcome, new listeners, returning listeners, and the lost souls just clicking around randomly looking for something to listen to. I'm Dr. David Hopkins, humanities professor and your host of the Intellectual Freedom Podcast, where we do something radically counterculture. We think, we reflect, we stop reacting like panicked squirrels and instead ask one question: does this make me more free or less? That's the whole game. Intellectual freedom. Not the freedom to just shout and spout opinions, but the freedom to have a mind that isn't not owned by a culture, political party, prevailing dogma, trending on TikTok or wherever you get your social media. So today, I want to talk about something that may actually save your sanity, because here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people are suffering, not because life is too hard, but because their world is too big. So let's get into it. Hey, can I just be honest for 1 second? Your mind is overloaded. It's so overloaded in this world that the meaning and the significance of things is just gone. And here's the problem in 2025. We know everything about everyone, everywhere, at all times. I mean, think about the level of insanity here. We are posting pictures of what we ate for lunch. Hey, everybody, here's my quinoa bowl. Please validate my existence. Meanwhile, 5 seconds later, our phone buzzes and suddenly we know there's a Cat 4 hurricane hitting a coastline we've never been to. Then scroll. Somewhere a mob just bum rushed a department store and stole 48 flat screen TVs in broad daylight, and we're watching it like it's the season finale of a show we never signed up for. Scroll again. A politician is on TV making some completely deranged claim about how the entire economy hinges on funding a bridge to nowhere, and half the country is screaming and the other half is clapping, and nobody has actually read anything. Then, oh look, a CEO, he had an affair. A mom in a state we can't locate on a map did something horrifying. Some vague mystery disease 10,000 miles away has claimed 6 lives, and suddenly we're all one headline away from wiping down our groceries again like it's 2020. And the wildest part? None of this has anything to do with your actual life. Your dog's asleep, your coffee's warm, your kid still needs help with algebra, but your nervous system is reacting like you're the Secretary of State. We're not built for this. The human brain is operating a village-sized operating system while being force-fed the global live stream of every terrible thing happening everywhere. No wonder people feel like they're losing their minds. We're emotionally outsourcing ourselves to events that we can't touch, change, influence, or even truly understand. You were not designed for this. Epictetus, a famous Stoic philosopher, kind of paraphrase him here, he said, you're not required to carry the weight of the entire world. Look, I get it. There is bad stuff happening in the world. And I wish it wasn't happening, but let's just breathe for a minute and admit you are not going to solve it. I am not going to solve it. Oh, and the person you blame because they voted a different way than you didn't cause it either. And while I'm on it, you're not smart enough, you're not powerful enough, rich enough to even minutely impact the entirety of global economic politics, global weather patterns, or the fate of Western civilization. So you best just get over it right now. Yet here we are, doom scrolling ourselves into paralysis, anxiety, and existential burnout. Over what? Over what? Over something we literally cannot control. So today's thesis is incredibly simple. A meaningful life requires shrinking your world, not expanding it. A meaningful life requires shrinking your world, not expanding it. Not checking out. I'm not talking about some whiny quitter mumbling, well then what's the point? But I'm talking about narrowing down your focus to things that you do have 100% control. Let's bring in a philosopher who understood this better maybe than anybody. Epictetus, Greek philosopher. Man wasn't subtle. He is an amazing human being, but ultra simple sentences. And if you get him and you get what he's talking about, your life will change immediately. And here's one of his most important quotes, and I love it because it's so simple. From everything that he wrote, you should memorize this. And I know you can. And after I say it, heck, you're going to get it right away. Here it is. Some things are in our control and others are not. Some things are in our control and others are not. Some things are in our control and others are not. That's it. That's the key to freedom. Not a 400-page self-help manual for $199. One sentence. Epictetus draws the line like a chisel. So the things that are in my control right now, today, are my judgments, my actions, my choices, and where I place my attention. I own that 100%. Nobody ever, anywhere can take it away from me. Things not in my control, other people, politics, public opinion, outcomes, culture, the entire internet. But here's the perverse thing. Modern life has kind of reversed this list. We obsess over everything we cannot influence and ignore the small world we actually can. No wonder people feel powerless, angry, frustrated, and anxiety-riddled. It's like, what WTF are we even doing here? This country is practically swallowing pills like Tic Tacs just to get through the day. Right now in America, tens of millions of adults and young adults and children are diagnosed with anxiety disorders, and estimates suggest over 1 in 6 Americans are on some form of psychiatric medication. Big Pharma making billions and billions of dollars, not because we're all battling inner demons like ancient Greek heroes, but because the entire nation is just, we're jacked up over things we can't control. We're anxious about the wars we didn't start, elections we didn't choose, economies we can't influence, strangers we'll never meet, and headlines that evaporate in 24 hours. And look, here's the disclaimer. There are absolutely people who need medication. There are real diagnoses, real trauma, real neurological conditions. Nobody's minimizing any of that. But not everyone, not all the time. And not millions of people are so wound up they can't sleep, they can't think, they can't date, they can't commit, they can't have kids, not because of anything happening in their lives, but because of things happening 10,000 miles outside of their sphere of control. People are hitting pause on their entire future because the world feels unsafe, while their actual life is perfectly fine. Your grandparents lived through world wars. They still got married at 19. Today, someone reads 3 articles and decides the species is doomed. We have become a nation of people emotionally hostage to things we will never touch and never fix. That's not mental illness. That's misdirected attention, masquerading as a catastrophe. In Epictetus, he put it this way: when you desire things outside your control, you become a slave. Let that one sink in. Slavery today isn't physical, it's psychological. And there are millions upon millions of people today, and you might be one of them that's listening. These chains are invisible, but they are intense. You know, recently we finished a book of study, Amusing Ourselves to Death. And even though we're done with that series, things still pop in my mind about it even now. And in Postman, he said this: information is now a form of entertainment, not meaning. And when information becomes entertainment, we lose the ability to act. Because action requires agency, and agency requires limits. Viktor Frankl, another amazing human being. If you haven't read any of his works, you should. He understood the human condition maybe in a way that the rest of us should bow down to, when he said, when we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. This is where we all need to end up. This right here is the answer. When we can't change the situation, we have to change ourselves. But today, people don't change themselves. They tweet, they rage, they blame, they accuse. They don't develop courage. They perform outrage. They don't take responsibility. They monitor the news like unpaid emotional security guards for the entire planet. And here's the truth. Your brain was built for a village. It was not built for some global spectacle. You are meant to know maybe 100 people well, not 7 billion, and you're not the police officer, and you are not the fixer of all that ills. Because what happens is meaning collapses when attention exceeds your capacity. Here's the deal. This takes humility though, right? If you can't surrender to swimming in your own pond, focusing on you, you're not going to have peace. Ever. Period. I don't care if Donald Trump's the president, Joe Biden's the president. I don't care if Team Red, Team Blue, Team whatever wins. It isn't going to matter. You will not have peace. You're going to be frustrated and upset. You don't control it. So what do we do? What do we do? I would suggest we apply the ancient remedy that modern culture has forgotten and shrink your world down to what is real. Lao Tzu said, if you want to change the world, start with yourself. Not Congress, not the algorithm, not the universe, yourself. Don't like Lao Tzu? How's an existentialist work for you? Nietzsche said, he who has a why to live can bear almost anyhow. Meaning in your life comes from purpose, not awareness of every little TikTok trend or news flash or congressional move here, there, or wherever. Meaning in your life is going to come from purpose. Now, how do you get to that? Your circle is where life actually happens. And this is where your purpose almost certainly resides. Why not make your life simple? Focus all your energy for change and good and revolution inside a sphere you can make a true difference. This will fulfill a purpose. So what are we talking about? It might be your family. It might be, for me, my students. It might be your neighborhood. It might be your craft. It might be your health. It might be your character, your interior life, your religion, your co-workers, your faith community. I don't know what it is for you, but you do. You don't need a global mission. You need a local one. And this is not apathy. This is real and true change that you can implement literally today. Because the spectacle wants your attention. They make money off of your attention. The machine wants you hooked. Look, I know things are bad. They're worse than bad in many cases. And I don't know what to tell you about the wars and the pollution and the anger and the division and the political climate and the crime. We know things are bad. So bad people don't even want to go out anymore. I'm not going to tell you to write your congressperson. I wouldn't know what to tell them. And even if I did, they wouldn't listen to me anyway. So look, how about this? How about this? Try and withdraw from it all. Then you can become dangerous. Dangerous in a really good way. In a razor-focused way that you can tangibly, clearly impact. Let's make it really practical. You can't change the world, but you can change the 3 feet around your life every second of every day. Epictetus again said, "No great thing is created suddenly, meaning is built like a wall, brick by brick, day by day, in the space where your feet are at." Here's a sentence worth writing down. Concern without responsibility creates anxiety. Responsibility without concern creates strength. So instead of, "I'm so worried about this nation, I don't know what to do," ask, what can I do in my life today? Small does not mean insignificant. Marcus Aurelius, emperor of the largest empire on earth, said, "Do not waste what remains of your life in thoughts about others when you cannot change them." If an emperor writes this and came to the realization that he couldn't control people, what chance do you have? It's rhetorical. Let me answer it for you. None. You won't change or control anyone. Sorry, you're not that good. You're not that smart. You're not that good of a speaker, and you're not that powerful. Give it up and let it go. So here's where we land in this whole thing. Your life is not supposed to be global. Technology has made and shrunk this world down to nothing. But your mind is not designed for that. Your mind, your life is supposed to be meaningful. Not obsessed with things you don't have control over. Meaning is local. Meaning is grounded. Meaning is built. It's not broadcast, and it's definitely not tweeted or a short TikTok or Reels video. Postman warned us, the greatest danger is not that we will be oppressed, but that we will become trivial. And so much of our lives are just silly, ridiculous, angry, trivial things. And the cure for triviality is attention. Not scattered attention, not hijacked, not stretched across the entire planet, but focused, disciplined, rooted. So this week, I challenge you. Shrink your world. Close the gates of all the media, of all the hype. Reclaim your mind. Because when the world is too big, freedom begins by making your life small again. Do this, and wow, just see what happens around you. and see how things you don't control sort of fade away. And your sphere of influence, you create new connections with people. Challenge you, give it a try. I'm Dr. David Hopkins. This is the Intellectual Freedom Podcast. Stay curious, stay grounded, and stay free.